the verbal way when I will be asked about the hope I have in my life, but showing it through actions. And nobody in the world can stop me from acting in the likeness of Christ, because I am free, right? If I am going out in my class, church, neighborhood, family, group of friends, and I have Christ in my heart, and I have His likeness, and my life is reflecting Him. Who can hide the light not to shine? Who can? Nobody can. Who can stop the sun from shining? Nobody can. If somebody cannot stop the sun from shining, somebody cannot stop Christ from shining in me. So my idea is to stop being private means to shine through your actions, through your deeds, through your interaction with the whole world. This is the real start. How to show Christ and how to show the miracles of God in your life is to show Him through your life, through your interaction with others. And the verbal talk will come later when people will ask you about the hope and the faith you have deep inside your heart. Okay? So what time is it? Okay, we will have like 15 minutes before 4 as a break for coffee and tea. We'll start Ashia at 4. So we still have like 10 minutes to invest in questions and answers. If you'd like to help us,
So just a question, but it's kind of long-winded. The individualism is definitely something, personally, that always gets me also, because there's always that line between, preaching or... There's always a line between, like, preaching and witnessing, and that's something that kind of popped into my head as you were talking, is there's a big difference. When it comes to, like, our individualisticness, whether good or bad or whatever, that's one whole genre of discussion. But when it comes to witnessing, like, we're called by the Bible to witness. And, like, fellowship is, like, a huge, huge thing. And it's long-winded. I'm going to get to it, I promise. But it seems like we have some time to kill. So, the early church is the perfect model, in my understanding, of fellowship, right? And it's, for lack of a better analogy, it's like a football team. You have many people trying to do one thing, but the common goal is there. Everyone's on the same team, so to speak. So day to day, quarterbacks practice with quarterbacks, receivers with receivers, but on game day, everybody has something specific to do. And that's that individual piece, that uniqueness that everyone brings. So, I know things are different in Denver because the quarterback here is, Anyway, I'm not poking fun as a Redskins fan. I'm not poking fun, but I know. But a whole team of Tebows. Well, again, maybe it could work because of his influence, but everyone has. I know, everyone has something unique that they have to bring, and that's that witnessing piece. That's unfortunately always missing from many, many churches, is that, we're not robots, but we are unique, as you were saying. So how do we get to the point where we can share that uniqueness that we have, that special, like, piece of witnessing? Because I think you said something like, what if God does something great? Are we supposed to sit on it? Well, I would rephrase it and say, it's not like, what if? It's like, God's done 10,000 things that are great, but how do I know which one to share within that community? Because if you share everything, you're preaching. And if you share nothing, you're isolated. Right? Like, it has to be, how do you find that balance of, within this community, what do I have to share? With the bigger, Jesus had the 70, the 12, and then the 3. And they all were part of the same team, but they all had different, their relationship with Jesus was completely different. And you can't say that they didn't have fellowship with each other, but even with Jesus, it was different fellowship. I mean, it wasn't the same fellowship. So how do we find that unique peace that we're supposed to offer when we're supposed to offer? Because otherwise, I'm sharing everything, and I said that crosses the line into preaching, which nobody wants to do. Especially here, nobody wants to hear it. I mean, I can Google Christianity. No one needs to come to me or anyone else to learn anything. But we are called to witness. So God's done something. How do I say, am I supposed to share this? Am I not supposed to share this? Is this just for me? Are you showing me this to share with everybody else? How do you find that peace, that balance? And sorry.
Thank you very much. To be very honest with you, Joe is touching a huge, very deep topic. To talk about it, it's very huge. I will try to touch on that in the liturgy of tomorrow, and in the sermon. I was preparing for that. But in brief, first of all, as you mentioned in your presentation, nobody can fellowship, nobody can interact in a constructive way, except if he will first abide in God. Because if you are not in Christ, if you do not abide in God, you have nothing to give. You are empty from inside. This is our Christian belief. So first of all, you need to abide in God. I'll just give titles, because it's very difficult to explain everything in very short time. First of all, you have to be very keen about abiding in God. If you are in God and God in you, your life will be very rich and you have a lot to give. And God will use you in a very unique way to accomplish your very unique mission God created you for. Because God does not create people haphazardly. Create people with a plan for a very unique mission, and He placed you in this time and this country and this area for a purpose, to accomplish something with Him. So first abide in Him and purify your heart and your life, and just abide in Him for Him to use you. This is number one. And advice number two, be yourself, be real. Understanding that you will never be identical to anybody. Never be identical to your parents, your teacher, your mentor, or whatever. You are unique. And God created you unique to be like that. And He loves you like that. And you will add something to the world nobody else ever can add. Regardless to the size of your add. Might be small or big, but it's unique. And here is the value. The value is uniqueness. You understand me? So first of all, abide in God. Number two, you need to discover yourself and be yourself. Be real. Be genuine. Is that a big piece to understand? Just don't fake it. And don't decorate yourself. Be in God and be yourself. Be real. Be you. I want you to be you, not somebody else. Live your own life, because God wants you as you are. Since you are in Him, you will be very good, very efficient. And number three, it needs a lot of prayers. It needs a lot of prayers and a lot of intimacy with God, for God to manifest His will in our life, for us to discover His purpose and His mission in our life, for us to discover how He wants to use us in life. And I am assuring you that God usually manifests His glory and His mission through us in the small things. He can manifest Himself, His glory in us, in our regular conversation with people, in our food time, in our fun time. You understand me? You are not in need to be very rigid, very official for God to use you. He can use you anytime, anywhere, to fulfill His mission in you. Just you need to be yourself, abide in Him, discover yourself, do a lot of prayers, to discover your mission in life, the purpose you are here for, and God will use you easily and spontaneously. Right? Here I cannot define for you. If you would like me to give you a particular answer, there is no one answer, of course, as I said, because everybody is unique. So everybody has his own personal, special answer from God for his mission. Is that clear for you? So I cannot tell somebody, even at the church here, I cannot tell somebody, come, here is your mission. I cannot say that. If I said that, sometimes I suggest, can you do that? You can say yes or no. Right? But you can, with God, figure out what kind of mission, what kind of uniqueness you have, what kind of special rule you can do with God in your journey on earth. This is your work with God, not with anybody else. Sometimes when you offer yourself out of love to God, to the church, or to your community, or to your family, God will guide you in your path to put you in the right place. But if you will stay passive, you are not inviting God to guide your life. Is that clear for all of us? So that please don't be passive. Abide in God, be real, be genuine, do a lot of prayers, open up, start doing something, even if it will be very, very simple. Easy example to understand what I have said, go to the story of St. Moses, the prophet. Moses the prophet. What Moses was before having a huge mission with God. He was in the palace, adopted by the princess to be the son of Pharaoh. Right? But one day, what did he say? I'd like you to remind me, huh? What did he say? Simply. No, nothing is passive. He said something. He said something, and here is the key. What did he say? When he was in Pharaoh's palace, enjoying his life, and his relatives, his tribe, his people were outside working as slaves, suffering and struggling with the work every day. What did he say? He said, I will go out and see the sufferings of my brothers and sisters. And he went just to do a simple help, to do a visitation, maybe to do a comfort. Maybe he didn't know what to do exactly, but at least he offered himself for God to use him. But he offered himself not verbally, not passively, and not verbally. He offered himself, he left the palace, and he went physically to be in the spot. And when he went physically and God saw his heart, God took him to the wilderness for many years to prepare him and to bring him back to be the great leader of the people of God out of the land of slavery. I hope this example is clear. Right? Okay. Any other questions? I hope I answered some of your very huge questions, Joe. Huh? Okay. Okay, guys. I think you can have a break for...
You can just take a vote.
Oh yeah, real quick.
After the vote, you can have a break for coffee and tea downstairs. And we'll start Ashaya. We can be flexible for like, how long a break would you like to have?
It's best to start at 4, actually.
Yeah, 4
Exactly.
o'clock actually would be best.
We have 15 minutes.
Okay.